Hello and welcome to our IRONMAN Live in Paradise webcast. I'm Tammy Barker and I have the privilege of being your host this morning in this absolutely stunning location of Palm Cove. It is a great pleasure that we have three wonderful athletes and very, very talented athletes joining us today in this Live in Paradise webcast. We have a great show planned for you today. Lots of great questions that you can join in the conversation by following us on Twitter with the hashtag of #IamLiveInParadise. It is, of course, the 4th annual year for the Cairns Airport Adventure Festival. And this Sunday, the 8th of June, we have two very exciting events. The Cairns Airport IRONMAN Cairns and the Centre Active Travel IRONMAN 70.3. We have over 3,000 participants registered for race day right here in Palm Cove. It's the first year we've moved our swim course out here, and no doubt it's going to be a really, really memorable day. This is my hometown. I'm proud to be living here in Cairns. We've got lots of great athletes coming from far and wide, but a lot of local athletes registered for the day. So we're going to get started very, very shortly with Liz Blatchford sitting here. She was our defending champion for 2013. She's back this year. But before we do, just a little touch base on the Cairns Airport Adventure Festival. It's a 9-day festival with 9 action-packed events. It kicked off last Sunday on the 1st of June and it finishes on Monday. So basically it is the only event in the world that we have a 5150 triathlon, the Ironman and the 70.3. So really we have something for everyone. Liz, good morning. Thank you for joining us here in Palm Cove. Are you happy to be back in Cairns?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Absolutely happy to be back. It was such a special experience for me last year, so yeah. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to come back.
So last year being in Cairns, it was your first Ironman event. You came to Cairns and you won it.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was a huge surprise at the time and it was something I'll never forget. It was really special. Like, I think your first Ironman is pretty memorable itself, and to get across the line first was, yeah, super special.
You have such a big history of your ITU racing and so forth. And so for you, that step up into Ironman, like, do you remember when that happened? And why did you think Cairns would be that event for you?
Yeah, after 2012 and not making the London Olympics, I went to the longer course and I did 70.3s for sort of 9 months there, and then I sort of thought I would take longer to go to Ironman, but it was my husband Glenn, he was sort of prompting me, and you know, we knew Cairns was such a great event in my home state, so we decided I'd just have a go, and you know, no pressure, just see what would happen, and it all turned out. Yeah.
Do you remember that moment when you crossed the finish line and you knew that you had that moment? Like, how does that feel? You crossed the finish line, Glenn was there, and you thought, my first Ironman, and I won it.
Yeah, I think at that point I wasn't really thinking about the fact that I won. I was just so glad to finish.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's such a long day out there, and your first one, I remember all day I kept looking at my watch, and I was just so happy to finish at that point.
Yeah. We have a really great shot from you coming across that finish line. I always love seeing those shots because I think the emotion says so much. Your body, you've just gone through this grueling race, but there's this look on your face that says so much. Yeah. Having Glenn at the race, I remember talking to you only a few months back. Big special moment for you, and you guys made a pact with each other, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Glenn travels with me a lot, and he's been at my, you know, he was at Cairns, and then after that we made a pact that he would come to all my Ironmans. So yeah, it's really special to share the journey with him, and he's such an integral part of me, like, performing, really. He does so much for me, and I appreciate it no end, and yeah, so it's really fun to share it together.
Brilliant. We have some footage of you. You've been up for the last couple of days here in Cairns, and you got out yesterday amongst the community. Really quickly, tell us about that. Local athletes, you're sort of working with them, giving them some training tips. How did that feel for you? Yeah, I joined in with a local group that are doing the 70.3. Most of them are first timers, and they're all raising funds for a local charity, Couch. So it was really great to see their enthusiasm. They're, you know, it's contagious. They're just so excited, and it's good to see, you know, the grassroots of this sport, and you know, people doing their first one and just really loving it. I think too, as an age grouper, you know, they train so hard, and then they look up to the professionals, knowing just how much you train. So having those moments to really ask you those hot little tips would make such a difference, I think, for them. I hope so. I think as a professional, sometimes, you know, we've been doing it so long, we take things for granted, and then someone will ask you a simple question, and it's great to be able to help in any way that I can. So yeah. Excellent. Well, let's take a little look at the package that we filmed with Liz in the last couple of days.
it's really fun to come down here and share whatever I can with these guys. They're so enthusiastic and it's absolutely contagious. We sort of did like a mini try. They didn't actually swim. They put the wetsuits on and practiced the transitions predominantly. Did a quick ride, had a look at the finish shoot, came back and did the bike to run transition too. And then I talked through, gave them a few tips about transitions and just general tips about sort of preparing for race day and mentally enjoying the whole thing. From watching you guys this morning, I've just got a few little tips. Firstly, putting on the wetsuits. One thing that will really help you guys to get them off is the baby oil. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but yeah, if you put baby oil sort of all over your calves and ankles, up to your knees, and then even a little bit on the outside of your suit. So put that on your legs, put your suit on. I saw some of you guys using plastic bags. That's a really good method for getting your wetsuits on, and if you do that, it'll also allow some of the baby oil to stay on your legs.
It's been so exciting. When we heard about it, we were all the girls were all messaging, going, I can't believe we're going to meet her. And but she was so down to earth, she's so lovely. She shared some great tips with us, so we're certainly going to use those on race day.
You sort of take for granted that we know it all, and then you come to these guys and it's their first one and you're saying simple things that are simple to me, but it's news to them, and it feels great to be able to help people that way. It's an eye-opener. It's great to come down here and see what Couch do and, you know, firsthand what they support. Yeah, absolutely. It's the first time I've been on a cancer ward, and I think it, like you say, it's gives perspective to life, and you know, Ironman's fantastic, but you know, what these people are going through is a whole new level. You get so wrapped up in your own world sometimes, and to come in here like this and see what other people are going through, and you know, for the last 2 hours we've been in there, I've just completely forgotten about that I'm doing an Ironman on the weekend and try and imagine things from their perspective.
Well, that was some great footage from your time with Couch yesterday. What did that mean to you, actually getting amongst the community like that, especially with a charity like Couch?
Yeah, it was fantastic to, you know, go and see where the funds at these amazing charities, like where they get spent. And they're doing such great things here in Cairns and for the whole sort of region, for cancer sufferers up here. So yeah, it was exciting, and you know, seeing those, you know, the triathlon team that are actually raising those funds. And
I know a few of the members in that triathlon team, Tim Couch and Nick Carling is their trainer, and they're just so engrossed with the triathlon scene, with this Ironman event coming up, but also with the charity. And I think they're working so hard on their training, but also for raising money, which is exceptional. So it gives two lives to what they're doing. I think makes such a difference for them. I know that they had so much fun with you. I got a couple of messages from the last night, and they had a ball with you, which was just great. They take such pride in triathlon, and I know we were talking off camera, and you're saying you started when you were 14. You've been involved with triathlon for so long. What does it mean to you?
yeah, I think triathlon for me, like you say, since I was 14, I've been doing tries longer than I haven't. So
Wow.
It's a whole lifestyle for me, and I almost can't imagine life without triathlon. Yeah, I love it. It gives me so many opportunities. I've seen such great parts of the world, and I get to do it with my husband. So yeah, it's really special.
And when you come to destinations like this,
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
balances both, right?
That's one of the bonuses of being able to choose your own racing.
Yes.
So I just take a look and see where I want to go.
Fantastic. So your last race was in Spain, is that right, recently?
Yep, in Mallorca, yeah.
70.3?
Yep, I was over there with my new team this year,
Yeah.
U-Place BMC. They're fantastic, really professional, and we
Great.
had a team camp on there, and it coincided with the 70.3. So did the team camp and jumped in on the race in the end.
How did you feel going from a camp into a race? You're well prepared, obviously. Physically, you feel good?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously didn't train too hard at the camp because I had the race coming up. So, but it was a good team atmosphere. We had a couple of other teammates racing too, so you know, it was fun.
There you go, no doubt. Maybe some of your teammates will want to come and do IRONMAN Cairns next year in this stunning destination.
I know.
Yeah, which is good. So let's go back to Glenn. You talk about him being such a key supporter in your life. He's been with you for so long, a part of this. Little rituals that you might have. Is he aware of those rituals? Does he sort of help you with those rituals?
He's kind of got a list of duties. When we get to a race, he's like, build my bike,
Yeah.
want a massage, you know, whatever else.
What a great husband.
Cook me dinner. Yeah, I know. I know I'm very spoiled, and but yeah, it's a team effort and it works really well. and just that comfort of having people around you that, well, someone around you that knows everything about you and just knows how you tick and what's going to get you ready for race day.
If you want to join in the conversation, don't forget you can follow our hashtag #IamLiveInParadise. You might have a question for Liz about some of those other things that Glenn might do for her pre-race. Follow the conversation and please join in. Now, we touched on your race here last year, first Ironman race. She won it, went across to Kona, got third. Kona this year, I'm sure everyone asks you the question, what are your plans?
Yeah, it's sort of my goal for the year is Kona. So everything about this year is setting up to try and have a great race there. I really surprised myself last year getting third, and I didn't particularly know what was the best plan or whatever, how to approach it. So, but what I did obviously worked. So I'm going to just sort of stick with the same. I'm heading over there 4 weeks before the race.
Yep.
I'll train out there in a bit of, get used to the conditions, the heat, humidity, the winds. So just try and keep things similar to last year and hopefully, you know, pull something off like last year or hopefully better.
Fantastic. And what about a little break? You're going to have a holiday post that race?
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to have breaks, and that's something I look forward to. I haven't decided where yet, but last year was Bali, Indonesia, which is a place that's special to Glenn and I. We got married in Bali, and we've been back quite a few times, so we enjoyed over there.
Fantastic. I want to touch on the women quickly. You have a lot of good, close female friends that all race professionally like this. I really like the blend of how close everyone is, but then comes to race day and you've still got that competitive nature with each other. How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, I've been doing this for 20 years, so some of my closest friends are, you know, fellow pro triathletes, and they are my closest friends. Yet when we get on the race course, it's, you know, all business. But it's good that we can leave it at that, you know, and just leave it at the door and race when we need to. But yeah, there's fantastic support. I think we all know what each other's going through. It's sort of, you have a bond that even probably the age groupers can't quite understand. When we're doing it for a living and day in, day out, you know, there is pressures. As much as it looks fantastic and fun, there's definitely pressures, and we have that in common, and it's a bond we share.
It's great. You gave me a scoop the other day. I think it's a scoop. I didn't know this. So,
Oh dear, what did I say?
you were racing for Great Britain,
Yeah.
but now you're racing for Australia.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We're not trying to do a Russell Crowe and just claim you now, because Australians claim everyone. So you are. So if you win Kona, let's just say you win Kona, you're going to win as an Aussie.
Yeah, I guess I am. I guess, to be honest, especially this long course racing, it's more about racing for myself.
Yes.
I'm living in Australia. I have been living in Australia for most of my career, and I've joined Triathlon Australia this year. It all made sense. So yeah, I'm racing under the Aussie flag now.
Fantastic. Obviously with a big piece of your heart still in the country that you're born in.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Great Britain, my parents are from there, and I was born there, obviously, and a lot of close friends from my ITU days, and, you know, fantastic support too. So yeah, I guess I'm an Aussie Brit, British Aussie, whatever.
We'll claim you for sure. Thank you so much for joining us today, Liz. You're always a gem to have around. We're so happy to have you back in Cairns. You and Glenn got a couple of days post-race, so good luck for Sunday. I know that everyone in the community looking forward to just having you here. Have a great race, and we look forward to sort of following the journey for the rest of the year for you.
Cool.
And stick around, we've got some questions coming in. You can follow the conversation, join our hashtag at @IamLiveInParadise. Ask those questions that you want to ask, and we'll be back very shortly. Courtney Atkinson is coming up next here at our webcast with Live in Paradise.
The biggest sporting, business, community and cultural events all find a home in Cairns.
Welcome back to our IRONMAN Live in Paradise webcast. We are here in the stunning Palm Cove, Cairns, tropical North Queensland. Right behind me is our actual swim course for IRONMAN Cairns and the Half Ironman. This Sunday, the 8th of June, is the big day with over 3,000 participants registered for race day. It is going to be absolutely epic. Joining me right now is one of our Cairns Airport Adventure Festival ambassadors, and he's also the ambassador for our upcoming Ironman 70.3, Courtney Atkinson. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. In Australia, it's a beautiful day here in Palm Cove.
Yeah, well, the sun's staying out for the moment.
Yeah, fingers crossed it's like this for race day.
You know, the beauty of it up here is whether it rains or not, it's going to be warm.
That's true.
Yeah.
We say
always
that.
Like a tropical race.
Yeah, and it's interesting because as a local for me, I don't want to see it rain. But then the athletes say, I don't care as long as it's not cold. It's that balance is fine.
Well, I suppose with internationals coming in and the southern states being in winter,
yes,
a bit of rain can actually make it a little bit nicer for the athletes too. So I don't think, I think an overcast day, although it's not great for the cameras and we've got beautiful scenery up here, for race conditions, it can actually be a good thing.
And we've got the humidity up here too, so having that rain kind of just lowers that humidity a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, I came up Friday, so even the first day I was up here, coming from the Gold Coast, which is still quite a warm place, and I went for an hour 20 run just to, you know, get moving off the plane, and you notice it straight away. Yeah. We're in the tropics. It's nice, but it's hot. That's right.
So you talk about you've been up here since last Friday, so almost a week. You are our 2014 ambassador for the entire festival. So we are an adventure festival here. Courtney is our defending champ for the 70.3 for Sunday. But you as an ambassador, you're a great ambassador. You've got a beautiful wife, 2 children. This adventure festival is about family, it's about the region, it's about adventure. And you're that adventure guy for us. I think you really are. You and Liz are just great ambassadors. I'm going to go into it straight away because when I think of Courtney Atkinson, on top of the fact he's a 2-time Olympian, he's got an amazing decorated career in the Olympic distance triathlon. The fact that you do so much adventure racing, you're so skilled, like you're just a diverse athlete. What is it about adventure racing that draws you on the flip side to triathlon?
First, thank you for all the compliments. I'll start with the ambassadorship. I mean, what's the best thing for me has been the fact that I've got to get out in the community this week and actually meet some of the people that make Cairns triathlon, you know, what it is and the effort and the passion they've got for this whole festival week, the mountain biking, the kayaking and everything else. And then what draws me to adventure, it's just, I don't know, I always have had this itch to do something different. And I've been at triathlon for 20 years. I've accomplished things that, you know, I'm very proud of, but I'm always just looking for that next thing. Maybe just put it down to adrenaline. I'm always looking for that next thing of a new challenge, but also something that excites me. And you know, I think the mountain bike, I competed in the Triple R event, which was started off the festival here on the weekend, and I think that was kind of where I'm at the moment. Put me, you know, that's me to a T. You know, 70 kilometres on the mountain bike, dropping off the range. Wow. That was pretty cool.
You know what, talking about that, I think we should break to the clip now. So Courtney was up, he's been up for a week. Last Sunday, it's the Triple R Mountain Bike Challenge, part of the Adventure Festival. It stands for Rural, Rainforest and Reef. Starts in the rural area, goes down the rainforest and finishes on 4 Mile Beach with the Great Barrier Reef right there. We've got some really epic footage of this, so let's break to that now and just see what he got up to.
The whole Cairns Ironman Festival it's unique. Rural, rainforest, reef. We spend so much time focused in training for an Ironman or for maybe the Olympic Games or whatever it is, focused around the road and you know, going steady and everything being in a controlled environment. You get out here and it's just, you know, you let loose. with the cows, you know, dodging the cow poo. Then down the bump track off the Great Dividing Range, through the rainforest. I know there's some creek crossings, and then you're finishing at the reef on the amazing 4 Mile Beach at Port Douglas. Hey, this is epic. The terrain is the challenge, just as much as actually riding your bike. I mean, we have big festivals for triathlon around Australia and around the world, but nothing where you've got ski paddling out in the ocean, there's a sort of green island over the reef one day, this mountain bike race, and then the biggie. I mean, you've got the IRONMAN. Yeah, there's a reason it's lasted 20 years. No wonder they call Cairns the adventure capital in Australia. I mean, it's got everything. There was a few close calls, definitely, and that's what is exciting about mountain biking. It's nearly like you're out of control in your mind and body, and if you just let go, it actually becomes easier. And I think the more you tense up and the more you're worried, the harder it is. That's a different warm-up that I've ever done for a Ironman, that's for sure. A half Ironman, that's for sure. So it's going to be an interesting week. Triple R, it's challenge. It puts you out of your comfort zone, but it's what we do. We love riding bikes, and it really doesn't take a lot more skill than what is required on the road. And my golden rule, and it happened a lot today, is if there's anything that you can't do, you get off and walk. It's quicker than crashing. That had everything in it. It had mud, hills, downhill, rainforest, beach. Hey, I reckon that's an event everyone's got to experience once in their lifetime.
Now that was some pretty epic footage of you participating last Sunday in the Triple R Mountain Bike Challenge. How grueling was that race?
I think I said it. It's I've never done a warm-up for a half Ironman,
yeah,
or any triathlon for that matter.
Doing a 70k race like that?
Yeah, and today I'm feeling it. So hopefully by the weekend it's all out of the system. But a lot of fun.
Yeah, rural, rainforest, and reef. For you, it's a 3-hour race? Did you kind of got engrossed in that whole sort of 3 elements of the race?
I mean, the event's been going for so long, and the reason it has been is it showcases the region. We start up on a property in the morning. You go, I mean, the bump track was pretty sketchy down the downhill portion of it, and then you finish at quite a nice location. I can't say I was trying to get out of staying at Port Douglas for
No.
the week. It's definitely very nice up there. But yeah, like I said, different lead up to usual. But that's what this week's been about for me, is actually to see what the event's about, be across the festival as a whole, and then obviously the Blue Ribbon event, the Ironman on the weekend, and I'll compete in the half Ironman, where we've got a number of Olympians coming along again.
Yeah, we've got a really big field competing in both the Ironman, but roughly 40 pros for the Ironman 70.3 on Sunday. Courtney, let's talk a little bit about the 70.3. Last year, Cairns was your first 70.3 race. You blitzed it, you won it. How did that feel, stepping into the 70.3, then you won it?
Well, that's what naivety does for you.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't know any better. It was an adventure initially. I mean, I'd raced nearly 15 years of concentrating on the Olympic Games. So it was new, it was an adventure. I had no idea of really, I mean, we trained those distances, but it was all just, I was flying on the seat of my pants. I was just going with what I thought was right, and it was working. So in saying that, I'm actually quite new to this whole Ironman thing. And why Cairns holds quite a special place in my heart is that the first ever full Ironman finish I watched was actually here at night in Cairns last year. So finally, it clicked. I got what Ironman was about. But it wasn't watching the pros come across. It wasn't myself wanting to do it. It was actually watching our amateurs and the age groupers and their families at, it's pitch black, 10 p.m. at night, and I suppose the excitement, the kids, to see their fathers, and I say their wives, I mean, I don't know why the wives are excited, whether they're just actually relieved that they're getting their husband back finally. But no, it's a whole, I saw the family involvement and just what it means for them to be an Ironman, and to me, it really made me think, okay, I get it. I get why those people are out there at 3 a.m. in the morning before work. I get it now. And that excited me that got me excited about Ironman, and I actually went and then did Ironman Melbourne myself this year.
Would you do another Ironman?
No.
There you go, we've got the scoop.
We'll say never say never on anything, but no. I mean, I've spent my life racing, and I really love the racing, and I think for me the half Ironman's that happy middle ground.
Yes.
I'm still part of that whole Ironman family and being involved with the racing, but I will continue racing the 70.3 distances, but what really excites me, and you've just seen then, is also getting out and experiencing these new things. Still endurance sport, but being across a wide range of let's put it this way, just finding those new adventures that kind of can coexist with what I do in my bread and butter of racing triathlon.
Well, you are our Adventure Festival ambassador. You've got the half Ironman on Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us in tropical North Queensland with your family. We wish you the best for Sunday, and hopefully you come back many, many years to the Adventure Festival, because you're a great ambassador, and I think you're just great for the sport of Ironman as well. Thank you, Courtney, for joining us. Don't forget, you can join our conversation by following the hashtag #IamLiveInParadise. We'll be back very shortly with more webcast.
There are so many things you can do in tropical North Queensland. It's spectacular,
You know what it's like? You get on a bike and all your problems go away. We're lucky to have amazing rainforests so close to Cairns.
I love this place. I love the ocean, and I'll never ever forget where I came from. Come and see why this is my paradise at exploretnq.com.au.
Introducing the all-new Toyota Kluger. Packed with all the comfort, space and technology you could want, the all-new Kluger is Australia's latest and greatest place to raise a family.
Welcome back to Palm Cove, Cairns, tropical North Queensland. We have our IRONMAN Live in Paradise webcast here today. It is a beautiful day in Palm Cove and we've got a great show past and now ahead of us. We've got very accomplished New Zealand athlete, Cameron Brown. Cam, thank you for joining us back in tropical North Queensland.
Yeah, it's great to be back. It's my third year here, so excited to race on Sunday.
That's good. Now, you're feeling good this year. You're a little bit sick going into the race last year, weren't you?
Yeah, I only managed to get to 2k into the run and I was seeing stars, and yeah, I just had to pull out, otherwise I think I would have ended up being in a hospital bed somewhere, so yeah, it was sad, but feeling good this year, so it's been a good build-up and excited about racing.
You touched on being sick last year. It must be hard with the preparation that you do as a pro athlete especially, and also for the age groupers, you know, the amount of training and time that goes into it, the time away from the family, and all of a sudden you arrive in a destination for a race and then you're not 100%. Like, is it disappointing?
Oh yeah, it's, you know, you train for these things, you know, for 3 months, 4 months, so you know, and then you get sick in the last week, so yeah, that's why this year I've come here 10 days before just to try and get into that, you know, climate early, get used to the heat, and you know, back home it's sort of 13, 14 degrees and we're 30 degrees here every day, so it's a big challenge, so it makes, you know, tough conditions on race day.
Brilliant. So on Sunday, IRONMAN Cairns, you are racing. The last Ironman race for you was in New Zealand, your amazing country of New Zealand. It was the 30th year of Ironman New Zealand. So much history in that race in Taupo. You started triathlon when you were 14. Your first iron distance race was at 27, is that right?
Yep.
Triathlon, what does it mean to Cameron Brown?
Oh, it's just been my lifestyle since I was 14 years of age. You know, I turned professional when I left school when I was 18, and you know, went up to Japan in the early years and sort of learnt the trade up there, and yeah, it's just been around the world ever since. You know, just some incredible places, some amazing races, some amazing training places I've been to, and you know, some great friends that you've shared it with. So it's been pretty awesome, and yeah, it was a dream come true for a lifestyle, that's for sure.
And so successful. I mean, you've had your time in Kona, your podium in Kona, you're 10 times Ironman New Zealand champion, second at IRONMAN Cairns the year that you raced that, and then obviously all through Europe and Asia. As far as destinational racing goes, the climates are different, the destination's different, but then, you know, touching on the New Zealand side to it, it's such a special race to you, isn't it? Yeah,
I think, you know, I've probably only missed, you know, competing. I think I've done 17 races in New Zealand, and then I've watched it every year since probably missed the early years because I wasn't in the sport, but as soon as I was 14, I was down there watching, you know, on the back of my dad's truck following the event, you know, all around Auckland, and it was just incredible. You know, my hero, Scott Molina, who was my coach later on in my career, all these guys, Scott Tinley, you know, fantastic athletes back then, you know, that you used to watch and then, you know, compete against later on in my career was just incredible. And but yeah, there's so many memories from it. It's you know, some good weather days, bad weather days, and New Zealand's always had sort of you know, fluctuations in the weather, but yeah, some incredible stories and some great memories.
You talk about your heroes and the legends of the sport that you watched when you were a young kid, and you know, I always find it fascinating. You know, you're that guy now that these young kids, you know, the junior triathlons, the Iron kids are probably watching you. Yesterday we went to a school visit. We had 500 kids listening to you with this Q&A that you did. So, you know, those are the kids that potentially are watching you, and that you're their hero, and potentially they could be sitting here 10, 15, 20 years time talking about you, which is great. Yeah,
hopefully you inspire some of them. You know, my hero when I was back when I was a junior was Rick Wells, and you know, having him as a role model. You know, he was a world champion first, sort of, you know, back in 1987 he won the world champs back in Perth, and to have that guy, you know, a Kiwi, doing it on the stage was just incredible and great for a junior athlete coming up. So, you know, I looked up to him, and you know, still, you know, talk to him a lot nowadays, and yeah, he's just still a fantastic role model, and you know, hopefully if you can do that to you know, some kids, you know, nowadays, it'll be great.
Talking about role models and the Kiwi side of it all, we've got some really great athletes coming out of New Zealand. Just, I mean, off the top of my head, Terenzo, Bevan Doherty, yourself. With the young guys coming through, the rivalry between the Aussies and the Kiwis, how do you see that working? Oh,
I think it's just, in any sport that, you know, Aussies and Kiwis compete in, is just, you know, I think it's that little brother, big brother situation where, you know, I think we're sort of always the underdogs, but you know, if we can get something over the Aussies, it's always good. And you know, there's not many sports that we do it in, but when we do it, we're sort of very, very proud of it. So
and so you should be. I know Terenzo came over to the Mandurah 70.3 last year, and between him and Tim Burkle, it was this great thing, like who was going to take the money home. And Terenzo obviously took that race out, and I don't know, I love it. I just love the rivalry that happens. You've got 2 young boys of your own, really skillful little athletes. As a father, you must be so proud to watch your sons and just to see that nature come out of them.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. You know, you don't try and push them too hard. You know, you try and give them a gentle push, but you know, if they want to do, you know, a new sport, then we just get right behind them, and yeah, it's just great. You know, they're really into their running, their cycling, mountain biking, soccer, trampolining, just anything. So it's a taxi service every day after training, but you know, we love it and we enjoy it. Me and my wife sort of, you know, it's just full on at the moment, and life's busy, but it's good. Good
stuff. So IRONMAN is expanding far and wide, especially down here in the Asia Pacific region. We've got some great new races coming up this year and next year. You have signed up for a couple of those races, Cam. How do you feel about the expansion into Asia and your participation in that?
Oh, I'm really excited. You know, there's some really great racing going on, and yeah, the market through Australasia and Asia is just getting, you know, it's just growing. You know, Philippines, where I first competed probably 5 years ago at the 70.3, it's grown from 500 to now 2,500 people. So, and all these other races, you know, IRONMAN Langkawi, which I'll be racing later on the year. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a great, fantastic race, and a real good holiday destination for athletes to go to. That's
right, and obviously if you've got a race, to have that destination that is just beautiful and stunning, you can have those couple of days before or after. Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I love about coming to Cairns. You know, you like after the race 2 years ago, you know, my family came over and we did all the crocodile parks, you know, the gondola up the mountain, to the Great Barrier Reef. So, you know, you can sort of, those athletes that have partners and that, you can sort of sway them to, you know, if you come along, we can do this and that, and have a holiday afterwards, because, you know, the journey's about, you know, you've got to look after your partners as well, because they're in this for the long run as well.
Big part of it, that's right. Before we kind of wrap it up, don't forget you can join in the conversation by following our hashtag #IamLiveInParadise if you have any questions for Cam. Just really quickly, I was at the Auckland 70.3 race in January. You older guys of the sport, Crowe, Macca, yourself, a lot of the times the media give you a bit of stick, you know, when are you going to finish your career, how are you going, and so forth on the circuit. You guys are killing it. Yeah. I mean, look at your Auckland, you had a great 70.3 race in Auckland. New Zealand, you didn't quite get that win that I'm sure you probably wanted. Marco Albert took that, but you had a great race. Like, there's no slowing down for Cameron Brown.
No, I think, you know, hopefully the 40s are the new 30s in age, and you know, I've got that passion and drive, and you know, I'm not going to give up just because so and so says you have to. You're too old in that. You know, I'm 42 in 3 more weeks. So, but yeah, you just got to look after your recovery. That's the main thing. When you get a little bit older, you know, you can still push yourself to, you know, your maximum in that, but you've got to enjoy it, and that's the thing that drives people and athletes to get to, you know, those goals that they have.
Good stuff. So you've definitely got a few more years of racing in you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not giving up my day job yet, that's for sure.
Brilliant. Definitely in Asia too. So keep a look out for Cameron. He's got some wonderful race plans ahead. Cam, thank you for joining us here in Palm Cove. The swim course on Sunday is literally right behind us. So make sure you go and check it out.
Yeah, I'm going for a swim afterwards, so it'll be good.
Fantastic. Yep. All right, thank you for joining us. We're going to take a short break, and then coming back after for our IRONMAN Live in Paradise webcast, we're going to ask Liz, Courtney and Cam to join us on the couch and answer some of the questions that you've sent in to us.
We've finally reached a rainforest after about an hour trip. We're heading to a volcano crater to swim, so got a heap of local triathletes that we're going to do a little bit of a swim session up here and check out the area, and then apparently there's a run trail around the lake as well that we're going to go for a jog on, but more just interacting and meeting some of the local triathletes around the region of Cairns and giving them some help and some advice for next weekend as best I can. I think the beauty of this is I got to enjoy it with the locals. One locals, but passionate about triathlon. I do enjoy sharing the knowledge that I've got, and it's sometimes just the smallest smallest tip which can go such a long way.
So with this swim, obviously you're at a completely different level than me, and I'm not a strong swimmer at all. But when you go out, when you initially go out, do you go out strong to get ahead of everybody and then ease into a pace, or do you just go out at the pace that you would try and keep at for the duration of the race?
A lot of people swim out fast, and once everyone's settled, you'll find if you've gone out at your steady pace to a point, you can nearly accelerate that next half of a distance to the first buoy. I think it's important for us as elite athletes to give back a little bit, because we're out there getting cheered all the time on the course, and people are always, you know, expecting. There's always a downside to it. We're expecting to be out there doing well too, but to be able to then, those people who are out there cheering for us, to be able to give back to them, it's a nice way. So let's run. Show me where we run up here. I've got a soft spot for Cairns as part of the Ironman, because it was the first time I actually sat and watched an Ironman finish, and that's when I kind of clicked and got what Ironman was about. One of the reasons I've had such longevity in this sport of triathlon is the locations. I mean, during the year, I travel to tropical islands, we race in the middle of Europe, in the middle of the Alps, God knows, wherever you think you can put a swim, we've raced. And the beauty of Cairns is it's on our doorsteps. I mean, for me, it's a 2-hour flight, and I'm in an amazing location, so it's nice to have that type of experience close to home. That's what's great about an Ironman in Cairns, is the fact that it's an amazing location, but it also showcases like a great community who's so passionate about sport and adventure all round.
What I love about Port, it's one of the most beautiful settings in the world.
I love that we can come up and have such a fabulous lunch.
We love 4 Mile Beach because it goes on for miles.
Gotta love the fishing up here.
Port Douglas is a great place.
We love it. Come up and see us. Bye.
Welcome back to our IRONMAN Live in Paradise webcast right here in Palm Cove. Courtney, we just got to see a lovely little clip of you up there at Lake Eacham. You were up training on Monday with the community and the couch group. How beautiful is it up there?
It's amazing. It was amazing until they told me there was a freshwater croc in the lake where we were swimming.
That's a lie. North Queenslanders, they love to actually throw those little scary, kind of like little adventure tidbits.
They've been throwing them at me all week. And I think that's one thing they really get enjoyment out of. But no, it was amazing to meet passionate people about our sport, because that's something I'm passionate about now, and I can share even just a little tip that can help them on the weekend. It's a nice thing.
Good stuff. So all morning we have been asking you to tweet in some questions at I Am Live in Paradise. We've got a couple of great questions come through. There's some interesting ones too from some familiar faces in the scene and sport of Ironman and triathlon. We're going to start with Liz. We've got a question for you from witsup.com. Liz, It's hard to believe it's only been around 12 months since your first Ironman. Has the enormity of what you've done sunk in?
Yeah, that's right. It's been exactly 12 months. And it definitely took some time after Kona to believe that that had happened. Cairns also, last year, getting the win on debut was really special, and I think for a few weeks at least I was like, did that really happen, or have I still got to do that Ironman? But yeah, it's been an amazing year, and yeah, a lot can happen in a year, and it's still a really exciting journey, and yeah, surprising me still.
You talked about Kona. We actually have a question from a good friend of yours and the partner, and congratulations, Beth and Luke. Luke McKenzie and Beth, they had their beautiful little girl about 7 days ago. Wynn was born in the States. Luke McKenzie won Ironman Cairns last year. So Beth, at I Am Beth Gertie, her question is, hey Lizzie, if you have a win at Kona this year, what kind of drink can I buy you after?
Yeah, well, I think Beth definitely needs a drink for herself, because
Yes.
last year she couldn't have any. So Beth and Luke, congratulations. So I think we should all share a big fishbowl of Mai Tai, something like that.
That's the drink of Kona, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't mind a good Mai Tai.
You'll deserve one after the race, I think. We'll go over to Courtney. We've got some questions here for Courtney. It's from @Damo Harris. A question about your bike setup. It sits lower than most. Is it due to injury?
Yeah, not injury, but when I first switched over from ITU to the time trial bike, I was having some problems running off the bike with the forward setup everyone kind of goes to these days. So I just found a comfortable position for myself that allowed me to run fast, and yeah, I cop a bit of flack for it, but when it works, you know, it worked for me, so I've kind of stuck to it. And you know, I think as I'm being more involved in being on the time trial bike more often, it's getting better. But right at the moment, I mean, if I can't run off the bike,
yes,
there's no point being super aero on the bike, you know. So I've found that happy balance.
Good stuff, great answer. This is a question from @Rosanna for both Courtney and Cameron. Cam, we'll start with you. How do you find the balance between family and training?
I think probably we're lucky. I mean, it's our job, so it's not as though we've got a job plus we're trying to train as well. So you know, I try and finish, you know, by 3 o'clock every day and make sure I'm there, and then it's, you know, kids time, family time after that, and yeah, but it is hard, and you've got to be really supportive of what your partner's doing, and just, you know, that communication has just got to be really, really open. Say, look, I've got to do this training, do that training today, and I'm going to be a bit tired maybe on the weekend, but I'll take the kids after that. And so yeah, it's just communication. That's the key with anything.
Good stuff. So Courtney, Cam's children, 2 boys, are older than your little ones. How do you find balancing that with such little ones with your schedule?
Yeah, I mean, Cam summed it up brilliantly. The best example I suppose I can give of how it's changed my triathlon lifestyle is my rest day used to be sitting in front of the TV playing an Xbox. Now it's actually getting woke up at 4, you know, earlier than what I get up to go training by my 2-year-old boy kind of crash tackling me in bed. And it's probably my rest day is my hardest day of the week now. But having the family is, I mean, it far outweighs what I've done in the sport, and that's when you ask me what my biggest achievement would be, it is my kids. Yep. And I've got an amazing partner, wife, and an amazing family, so I wouldn't change my life for anything. I get to do the hobby as my profession, the sport I love, and I've got an amazing family that travel the world with me, so life's good.
Wonderful life. Lizzie, question for you from @Andrew Hacker. Any important tips for a first time up? I'm starting to get a bit nervous, especially about the run at Ironman Cairns.
Yeah, I think I can answer this pretty well, because last year I was really nervous about doing my first Ironman, and I was nervous about the run too. I mean, it's the end of the race and it's where you're going to potentially be hurting the most. Something my coach said to me was just approach it like it's a catered training day. So you're out there training all day and people are handing you drinks and food whenever you want it. So I tried to focus on that, take the pressure off, and I mean, you've only got to do it once. You've rested up for this, and you just got to get through it that one day, and you draw on the crowd around you and the other people racing, and you find a way to get through it, and you do.
Talking about the crowds and the aid stations, I know a lot of events put so much into the aid stations. Do you guys remember that when you're in the zone and you're in race mode? You know, do you remember that child that's handing you the biddens and stuff like that?
I definitely remember Kona last year. They were like having parties at those aid stations.
Really?
It was awesome. Like I was living for aid station to aid station, like, what are they going to be doing at this one? You know, they got the music going, everyone's dancing, and they treat you like you're a superstar. So,
well, on that, we actually, for our IRONMAN Cairns 70.3 race, we've got some cool things planned for our aid stations. They're going to be dressed in costumes, and we're actually asking the pro athletes to judge it. So, although they're serious, obviously there's that structure around the aid stations we need, but we are going to kind of activate them a little bit with costumes and music and so forth. So make sure you keep your eye out for that. Courtney, we've got a question for you from @Michael Brownlee. What's the most memorable moment of the Cairns course?
The Cairns course? I won't lie, last year was the finish straight because I was actually winning. That's always it's always a good thing, and it doesn't, you know, winning races, you know, you enjoy them when you can actually do that. But the bike course is spectacular here. The Palms, I mean, we're here at Palm Cove with the beach today, and the swim's going to be spectacular this year too, but the ride goes along all the little cove beaches, and then it's a tough ride too. So I think you want to, it's a nice ride, but it's a tough ride. So you kind of get that, it's a double-edged sword. It's a beautiful ride to look at, but you kind of get that achievement that you've done something hard too. And when you finish the race, I think, especially this weekend, because the conditions are going to be, you know, I think on the harder side. The winds are blowing, so it's going to be a real race where you can finish and be very proud of your accomplishment.
Great, and enjoy that finish line atmosphere.
The finish is, that's the one thing, and I alluded to it earlier, with Ironman, that's the biggest difference I've noticed with the actual Ironman branded events. The finish line's amazing, and it's that red carpet at the end. You know, you get there, families, friends, everyone there and is cheering. And I think last year someone was, you know, I was in trouble because I was up in the, obviously I did the half Ironman, and I was kind of like trying to help people out, pour them some beers earlier on in the race as they were crossing the finish line, and I kind of got in a bit of trouble. But you know, it's a very fun environment, and these guys, I reckon everyone who finishes the Ironman this weekend deserves a massive, massive, well, first of all, rest, but big pat on the back.
Good stuff. Now, Cam, you've seen a lot of finish lines in your time, in your whole history of Ironman. We've got a tweet in here from our compadres over in New Zealand. So Ironman New Zealand team have said, "Go Cameron," from all the one-eyed Kiwis. How do you feel about racing in Australia, knowing that you've got so much support? They're watching online from all your Kiwi supporters over there.
Yeah, there's probably about 500,000 Kiwis living in Australia anyway.
Yeah,
so
more than Australians.
Yeah, there's a lot that live over here. But yeah, it's you know, when Aussies come over to New Zealand, we support them, and the same over here as well. So, but yeah, when you're having a close race with someone, I'm sure they get a little bit more support from their home country. But it's great racing over here, and it's easy racing. You know, it's just 3 hours on a plane and you're here. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully there'll be a few Kiwis out in the course and give us some, you know, big cheers. Good
stuff. I'm going to ask you a quick question, Cam, as well. Pre-race ritual. Do you have a ritual that you stick to for every race?
Normally it's my mum's salmon pasta, but yeah, she's not over here at the moment, so I'll have to try and be scouting the restaurants around Cairns to try and find a salmon pasta. But yeah, that's my normal thing. I just try not to get anything, you know, too fast or anything, and just yeah, just try and be low key and just relax, go into it easy.
Good stuff. Les, do you have any little trinkets that you put on your bike or any ritual?
I have a bit of a strange one from when I did surf lifesaving as a little kid. I used to make little sand slippers around my feet, and I'd smooth them out and I'd make a wish for a good race. And but I could obviously only do that when there was sand, so some triathlons that doesn't work out, but I think I might have to make some here at Palm Cove on Sunday morning.
Good stuff. You can start it right here. We are going to take a short little break before we heard about what triathlon means to all of you, and quite touching. We're going to kind of look at what that means to some of the age groupers in our industry.
What are you doing at home, for starters? You should be out. Look at this day, there's waves and everything, so you know, certainly if you're a kid at home, you need to get out of the house and go do something.
You don't
know how it is until you try it. It's like everything else, and I think once you get out there and do it, you can realise why everyone else is so addicted to it. Put any, anxieties behind you and just get out there and give it a go, and you never know how much, you can really end up loving it.
My older brother and sisters, they did it and I just followed, so it was, I guess, part of the family. Sign up for one, set yourself a goal, get in a little squad and do it. Anyone can do it, you'll be surprised, so don't think that there's limitations on it.
No, just going through the movements today. Haven't bloody trained at all, so I'm just taking it easy.
I made the swim, that's the main thing.
Oh, so far so good. Good run out of the water, that's for sure. See you at the end.
Every little kid should give any sport a go. Sport's great, so yeah, get out there and give it a go.
Just get started, take it easy for a bit, and if you're anything like me, you'll find out you'll love it pretty soon.
Mate, it's an outstanding situation. 54 years of age. Great opportunity to meet a whole lot of great friends, keep fit while you're doing it, and also have goals, even at my age, rather than sit on that couch, mate.
Got to be in it to win it. Did I find it hard? Yes, I did, but did I find it enjoyable? You bet your bottom dollar I did. Get out there, let's go.
Sasha over here has only really just started in triathlon, and we've pretty much stepped her up from Olympic distance, and she's going to be doing Cairns in 3 months as well. So today, how was your race?
It was awesome. I recommend it for everybody.
Chika's from Japan?
Japan! I'm Japanese. I was exciting, so fun, thank you.
From that point of view, time to try it's not that difficult, I saw people doing breaststroke in the swim, It's always time to try, never too old, mate, they say.
This is number 7 and I'm just a plotter, so it's a great day out. So's Noosa. Well run. Get in and do it. You're never too young or old. Get into it.
People say to me, why do you do that to your body? Why wouldn't you? You're mad if you don't. You don't know what you're missing out on. To finish triathlons, it's just unbelievable.
Well, that was some wonderful footage of some exceptional athletes in our age group categories. We have so many of these different events in Australia and of course Asia Pacific, and it's without these age groupers, events like this couldn't be possible. So a very big thank you to all of our participants that come to all of our events. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this morning here in Palm Cove. We've just done some great work, we've answered some really good questions, and I think really tapped into what triathlon means to you all, the history that you've had within the sport, and of course the upcoming race this Sunday the 8th of June, the Cairns Airport IRONMAN Cairns and the Centre Active Travel IRONMAN 70.3. Thank you all for joining us. We've got an exceptional few days ahead of us with the Cairns Airport Adventure Festival, and hopefully conditions on Sunday will be absolutely perfect. We've got another lovely, great package coming up. It is of course the 2013 Cairns Airport IRONMAN Cairns Highlights package from last year. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget you can tune in on Sunday at IRONMAN Live. Have a great day.